When I was a chartered accountant in practice, I had newly qualified, and I used to go around on my college cycle. I had a cycle at that time. I used to go around to my clients with the files in the back and doing their income tax and accounting and all the other stuff. My most ardent desire at that point of time was to have a motorbike, because I knew that if I had a motorbike, I could go wherever I needed to go and I would be more productive. I got engaged and then I wanted a car because I had my wife, she was a lawyer and I was a CA, we needed some respect in society, and then the weather element and all that in the car. And I soon realized that the guy who was driving a BMW is still envious of the guy who was riding a Aston Martin next to him. There is enough for everyone's need, I realized, but there's not enough for everyone's greed. I became a sedentary individual, I put on weight, I wanted to get back my health, I started running. And when I started running for several years, that I was running the half marathon, my most ardent wish was to be a sub 3-hour half marathoner. So I was always doing a 3:10 or a 3:15 finish, and no matter what I did, I couldn't do better. I trained well, I became a sub 3, then a 2:45, then a 2:30, now I'm at a 2:18 half marathon, and many people tell me that's a good time. But I do know that the Kenyan who does the Berlin at 1:03 is still envious of the Ethiopian who does the London at 1:02, and both are wondering if they can do the sub 1 hour marathon, half marathon. So this need for speed never ends. There is a saying that a woman can never be too thin, with all due apologies to Pooja Tingra, and a man can never be too rich. And I like to add a third postulate to that a runner can never be too fast. Okay, so there is this, in this sense of, in this desire to lead a very temporal life of materialism and speed, we give a go-by to the spiritualism of, living life with passion and energy. And I decided that at some point of time, I need to redefine my success and have a different yardstick for success. I looked at everything that I was wearing when I was running. My shoes were meant to 4 hours faster. They were, meant to make me run faster. My T-shirt was meant to, wick my sweat away. My Garmin was supposed to, give me my pace and, make me go faster. My Gatorade was supposed to make me go faster. So I found that the only thing I was carrying was my smartphone, which came with a camera attached, and that was not designed for speed. So I decided that in every run that I do, I am going to measure my success by the quality of the photographs that I take. Okay? So now what I do is that I am a pacer, so I run very slowly. I run at 3 hours and try to give others the finish time of 3 hours. And I take photographs of runners as they are crossing, back and forth during the course. I especially like to take the photograph of the last runner because the last runner, to my mind, shows as much passion and grit. When he's there at the starting line, he knows that he cannot ever finish early. Somebody like, many of us who have, given their stories here. But even then, they are coming there, they're standing there, and they're living that 3 hours or 3.5 hours, a life of passion, a life of energy, a life of living with the heart and doing what pleases them. I like to photograph that. Sometimes this becomes challenging. You are in an out and back course, you think you got the last guy, and then, behind that is another last runner. And then you take that person, and then behind that is another last person. But the most beautiful thing is that even that person who is last is not frowning. When I stand there for a photograph, they peer out, they stand, they make a pose, and they really give me a nice photograph. If that is what happens with the slow runners, even the fast runners, the guys who are really running for speed, people like Don, whom Kripa mentioned, even they pause for a moment and they give you some style or some pose or do something like this, and they want that photograph, okay? What happens is that after I do the photographs and after I put it on Facebook, I am most heartened when they make it their profile picture, okay? The photograph is a very simple photograph. It's taken with a camera. It's it's not a big photograph. But for me, that photograph is evidence that it is a manifestation of the fact that each one of us wants to celebrate the moment that we live life with passion and with heart. Thank you very much.